So, today on the HotPot, we have a special guest, the one and only, known for all his video content and creative work, the man himself, Kien. Gotta give a round of applause. My man in the building today. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Of course, anytime.
Hey, you know what it is. Always invited to the HotPot ATX, or the Rat Pad ATX. So, hey, yeah, man. Wait, how was your flight coming in?
My flight?
Yeah, your flight. I mean, just kind of get into the city, because I know
when you get flight.
Yeah, when you get into AUS, that airport is like really small, but at the same time, it's like it has a large volume of people like going through it. So
yeah, it was bad. I think it was just a normal flight. There was no terrible weather conditions, no hurricanes, no, I don't know, whatever.
All that South by West traffic. All that South by Southwest.
It wasn't actually that crazy.
Oh damn!
No, for real.
I thought it was gonna be packed because usually what there's like kind of convention centers, there's always like a flood of people, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone already got there. Oh, you know what it was? I got there on a Thursday. I believe everyone checks in on a Friday.
That's okay.
Because people got full-time jobs. They get flown out, as a representative of their company or whatever. And
yeah, that's right. That's right. I actually kind of forgot about that. You came in last week, so
yeah.
Man, smooth with it.
So I mean, what kind of food you eating over here in Austin?
Tacos and barbecue.
Hey,
that's Texas.
That's the best food you can eat.
That's Texas.
Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna go with this other question. I had a few follow-up questions I want to get with, but I was kind of curious. Did you have any other alias before just going by Kien?
Just my name, because I think you're talking about breaking, right?
No,
just a Kien.
With anything.
I think it's just because growing up in America, there's no one with my name. Like if I go back to my country in Vietnam, of course there is. Yeah. So I just stuck with it. I mean, as a breaker, I was trying to come up with names, and it just, to me personally, it just sounded kind of weird. It's like you calling yourself a noun, like B-boy road mic or something. It's like I don't know. It just sounded strange to me. Like it was cool to call other people that, like whatever name they had, but for me, it always sounds strange. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call me by my name.
Your name is already unique too, so like you made it a thing.
No, that's actually pretty dope. Yeah. Like Black Lightning, you want Black Lightning or Sweet Pea.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean that's dope. That's dope. Actually, let's see. So that was just kind of more from a social standpoint, but all right. So actually, next question. What kind of got you into photography, videography, media? Like, what kind of got you to that point?
Oh, simple. Breaking?
Yeah.
I think it's because I started as a breaker. I got into a crew. My crew is called Fire Crew Dynasty.
Wow,
you might have known.
Shout out.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
What?
Yeah. So I was with them since the beginning, like the very, very beginning, like first gen.
Yeah.
And, like over the years, I realized real fast that I actually didn't really want to battle. I started breaking because of friends, and I liked it because it was cool. It was a form of expression.
Yeah.
But for me, once everyone got real competitive, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna chill. So when my crew started traveling, we got a bigger name and everything.
Yeah.
I just bought a camera because you know what? At that time, the biggest media outlet for breaking at the moment was Strife. And
that's true.
Yeah.
And we're upcoming. We're like, we don't know if we're gonna get the footage, so I just bought a camera and just started recording my crew.
Yeah.
Sometimes I enter the battles with them. Sometimes I don't because I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
You already know. I obviously don't go to practice. So.
Hey, wait. Where's the footage? Where's the footage?
That's what I don't know.
I want to see some old kids.
No, I don't want to see myself, dude. It's like incomplete sets and shit. No, I'm good. Maybe I'll post something up. I'll see.
Hey, all right, okay.
Hey, we're gonna hold you to that. To be honest, I want to see that.
Hey, Chaz, what you go by?
Man, I couldn't come up with a name. I remember one name I tried, and I was just like, no, that was a clown-worthy name.
No, you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us. Don't worry, we got some footage of Chaz.
Okay.
All right, wait. All right, what got you into shooting the style of content videos that you do now?
Oh, simple. I felt like personally for me, because I got known as a photographer in breaking, I felt like I got boxed in because I was doing a lot of different things. You know, a lot of my stuff lives on the internet, on social media. And the thing about the algorithm at that time is like they only push things that you can do over and over and over again. And there's a certain point where it's like, I love breaking, I love shooting breaking, but there's more to me than that. And when I post something else that wasn't breaking, it just didn't do well. And you know what? And you know, I don't want to say that social media runs my world, but it does mentally affect what you do and how you behave on it.
Yeah.
And I just found TikTok during the pandemic. My niece told me that it was a meme factory. It's just the place where you make jokes and just make cringe stuff.
It is.
And you know what? Breakers are freaking petty, okay? Whatever you say.
Hot take.
Uh-oh. You about to start shooting some shots.
Breakers are petty, okay? And everyone is very conscious of their reputation and what they post online. They want to post their very best stuff. And you know what? Nobody was on TikTok. So I was like, you know what? It's like moving to a new high school or moving to a new college. You got a new circle of friends. You can start all over again. So I started by posting the cringiest shit I could possibly think of. Some embarrassing shit. You don't want to scroll down there.
Hey, look.
What's the cringiest thing?
Man, me acting really sad on camera. I don't know. It's weird.
It's just like
it's weird. It's weird, man. I just did it because it was funny.
All I know is you be showing off that flexibility hella much, man. Doing that split.
Yeah, that man.
Through
Hey,
the split.
we gotta find out how you get that flexibility, man. 'Cause I need that myself. I get injured going to sleep, man. I am not flexible enough to go to sleep.
You could tell my style of breaking was I was pretty flexible. Like a lot of my moves were flexible moves and everything. A lot of it came from the era of like, what are their names again? Like Circus Runaways, like Lions of Zion.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do their moves because I wasn't as flexible, but I really appreciate that style of breaking. It was a little bit unconventional, and for me, I like to do unconventional things. If everyone else is doing like one thing, I would like to try something else. And there was only so many people that were doing flexible stuff, you know. And at that time, I never really seen a lot of flexible breakers flow.
That's true.
A lot of them just sat on their asses and just, you know, I mean, honestly, it's hard. Like your flexibility is very limited when you're put in like weird positions.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. I mean, over the years, like the dancers got better and they learned how to flow with it and things got better. But at that time, I really want to go down that route.
Dang, man.
So these days, when I do these weird TikTok things, it's just residuals of my flexibility from back then.
Hey, man. Hey,
Look,
we can't do it. That's all I can say.
That's all the more reason we need to see these routes.
But that's actually interesting because I would say for me, I haven't really seen that many flexible B-boys or breakers or B-girls or whatever until I saw Lions of Zion. But I didn't know, you know, I didn't even know that, you know, you were on 5 Crew. So I'm like, hey,
we all grew up in the same high school. Everyone got into breaking for various reasons. I think most of us got into breaking because of girls, and then after a while, you realized everyone you hung out with are dudes for the most part.
Yeah,
it's changing now, but at that time, but back then, it was like mostly dudes.
Man, I still say it's the same. It's the same.
I was like, I don't think it changed.
I want to be optimistic. Not as much in the U.S., but like everywhere else around the world, there has been more girls.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah. And I think, you know, times are changing. It's a lot more exclusive. It's a lot more of a safer space, and I think it's dope.
Which way?
No, isn't that the hat that started it all?
No, it was my other hat. It was a black hat, the one that I had from Cali.
Yo, question: how does your hat stay on your head when you break? Because I've seen you rock bucket hats.
All right. So I had to get this one hat that was like so tight. It was like cut my circulation to my brain.
Got it. So you bought like a size or 2 smaller than your head.
Well, actually, I felt like this size was actually pretty normal, but at the time I was like growing out my hair, so like my hair was like filling in a lot of the head space, like in my hat. So it was like, you know when people's hair. Well, I know it's true for like a lot of black people, but like whenever you wear like a bucket hat, like that's so tight. I wouldn't even say tight, but your hair is so overgrown to the point where you can almost see your hairline through the hat. Like that's how tight the hat felt because of how like wild my hair was.
Looking like dude from Recess.
Yeah, I mean, no, it was crazy. My hat never came off, and I was like, I don't know how this thing ain't coming off. Especially I was doing the windmill UFOs, and yeah, there's a whole story in how I got it. But anyways. But anyway, so what's something you'd say you dislike about making content videos?
The fact that you have to do it over and over and over. There is no time to cut it off. So there's a big difference between being an artist and being a content creator. An artist, you kind of do things on your own accord. Actually, being an artist is really vague. You could be whatever the hell you want. If you want to make a lot of shit, you can. If you want to make one thing once a year, great. It's really your call. As a content creator, right? You want to make stuff that is true to you, but at the same time, you have to work against an algorithm. It's just how
That's
it
true.
is. If you stop posting, then the algorithm stops pushing your stuff. So you have to post not every day, but like often enough so people don't forget and the algorithm thinks that you're being active. So that's like, I think that's the biggest con.
So yeah, so I mean, how consistent would you say the algorithm is like searching for a new upload or new video content from like you? Would you say that's like every other day or is that once a week? Like, or I guess it's more so how relevant your name is still circulating throughout the platform.
It's relevant depending on how much I post because there's times where I don't post for 2 months. I can't make anything.
Yeah.
Like between January and February, I didn't make a single thing. Also like around December, I was traveling like crazy. So by the time I got to January, February, I was so burned out. I just didn't want to do anything. So all I did was like sit on my couch and watch anime.
Yeah, too much movement.
That was a good time to binge, right? I guess.
We're gonna have to get into these anime questions because
so am I right in saying that we have introduced or you have been added to the anime ecosystem as of recent?
I'm still an outsider.
Oh, no, you're part of the brethren now. You took a 2-month binge. You're
and have you been to any conventions?
Because I do TikToks with a lot of cosplay, I make a lot of bullshit videos. It's mostly just honestly most of it is just to troll different communities that like comic books or anime and shit.
You've probably been to more conventions than a lot of people who watch a lot of anime, to be honest. So
I have.
I still have never been to a convention.
Maybe we're gonna change that this summer.
You haven't?
Hey, we need to.
All right. You let me know what you want to see, and I can recommend you one at this point. But the most of the ones I go to are cosplay conventions because there are conventions where they leak out news about whatever release, like San Diego Comic-Con. I wouldn't go. Like personally, I wouldn't go to that one because I mean, no one there is dressed up in costumes that I control. So it's just they just release everything has to do with DC, Marvel, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Dang, that's dope.
But
wait, so how many have you been to?
I think I've been to maybe 4 or 5 at this point. I've been to Mount City for several years, probably almost back to back since high school, so probably more than that. MechaCon down in Louisiana. I've been to one A-Con up in Dallas, and then I haven't been to EkiCon in here, but man, there's been a few cons now.
Nice.
Okay. So this is gonna be an interesting question for you, Kien. So. All right. So at the request of a client, what is some of your favorite type of work that, your clients request? And what is a deal breaker type of client work? Like what would you not shoot and what would you shoot?
I think that's a loaded question. I think it just really depends on how the deal feels at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So for me, I like to shoot almost everything for free. And the biggest reason why is because I'm a content creator. But when I do charge clients, these days, I mostly just take on influencer jobs because, frankly, they pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
They pay a lot.
Ooh, man.
Significantly a lot more than being a photographer and videographer. There are certain rates that are part of that kind of industry, but for influencers, it's extremely high. So I like to do a couple of gigs a year, and it pays for everything else. And then I have all the free time to just make videos whenever I want to.
Dang, that's dope.
That's the game.
Yeah, that's dope.
For now, until I guess that bubble pops or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if this algorithm keep working for a lot of people, you're still gonna have that. But if the algorithm, we got a new YouTube CEO, so hopefully that new CEO don't do nothing.
That's gonna be a hard one.
Oh yeah, that CEO has been in YouTube since the beginning, so I don't blame her for moving on.
Yeah. So it's gonna be crazy.
She made it what it is today, but hopefully it continues to be great.
All right. So I mean, kind of still on the whole, route of doing client work and whatnot. Actually, this is gonna be a little bit different. What's your history with Stance?
With Stance?
Yeah.
Let's see. When I was starting to travel with UDEF, UDEF was like my first like breaking client.
Right.
Because if like promoters if it's a grassroots, there's a very good chance they just don't have the money to fly people out. They'll fly like 1 or 2 judges because it's a necessity. But as far as media, they won't really fly you out because there's always like random people in your city with cameras. Like the pictures or the videos might not be the best, but it was free because they're there to volunteer and everything. So for me, my first client was UDEF, the Pro Breaking Tour, and Silverback B-Boy events. And, they paid me a little bit. It was cool. I was just really glad to be able to go out there and travel. And it helped me make my name. I think when I started traveling a lot, it just kind of like, I guess, on the online reputation, it just looked like I'm everywhere.
Yeah. No, it did. I remember because your name was like the face of Stance to me at that time. And I was just like, man, if this guy shows up to anything, I know it's going to be like good content.
Your pictures are in demand too. I mean, I know everybody. Every time you come to town, I'm trying to get a picture from Kien.
I got you. If you want something after this, I got you. I forgot to bring my camera, but I mean,
don't worry, you can borrow mine.
So my religious stance was at that time I met Daniel for about like a few months to a year, and at that time he was transitioning from being one of the hardest workers in Stripe TV to starting Stance, and at that time there was a business and a vision difference between what he saw in Strife, and so he moved on and made Stance, and I was one of the few first members of it.
Dang, that's dope, man. That's dropping bombs.
That's B-Boy media history, man. That's B-Boy media history.
That man just laid down some history on y'all.
Yeah. Don't take my word for it. I'm trying to remember as best as I can, but some things might be off. But that's basically how Stance started. I mean, Stance is basically a crew, but a crew of people with cameras that have some sort of breaking history.
Yeah.
So, most of us can somewhat get down. Not everyone can get down, but most of us can get down somewhat. And I think we just truly enjoy filming, breaking, and shooting breaking, because we realize that if we don't do it, then a lot of outlets don't do it.
That's true.
Now these days there's tons of outlets out there, and it's cool. But at that time it was just strife.
Dang.
Man, providing a service to the community, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, because I mean it was needed, and I didn't think that there was any other type of media out there that was kind of serving the whole community to the capacity that you guys are doing, that Stance is doing, even UDEF and all these other content. But hey, let these people know, how do you say your name? Is it Kien or is it Kin?
Okay, so
for the record.
You gotta let them know.
So for the record, my name is actually pronounced as Kien, but I've been hearing Kien or Kine or King Kong. I don't know. King Cone. I don't know. Whatever. Just like random shit from people ever since I was a kid. And it just got to a point where I just forget to correct it because it's like, it's like trying to correct yourself every second. I was like, yeah, I guess that's my name. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So Kien, I guess, is my nickname, I guess, just by accident, because it's a Vietnamese name, right? And when you pronounce it in my language, it's correct. Yeah. But, with the English dialect, it's like K-I-E-N. You think the I before E, it's pronounced like Hien.
Yeah.
Like most people think it's that way. So I do understand where that comes from, and that's cool. So once in a while when I'll jump on a call with a new client, or I'll jump in Uber. They'll be like, Kien? I was like, yo, you're like the one out of like 20 people that actually get it right.
Man, there you go. Kien.
Hey. Look, everybody got to get it right. Everybody got to get it right from now on.
Or else y'all going to be hearing a lot of...
Shots fired.
No, it's cool with me. I just feel like it takes me more energy to correct someone. I'm like, oh, fuck it, whatever.
Actually, it's the same way with me, because every time I gave someone my name, oh man, you won't believe it. I hear Perry.
So it's Pierre, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did get it right. I just took a guess. And
you're one of the few.
Really?
You're one of the few.
So many people either say Perry or they say Pierre, and it's like, come on, you can see the Y, you can see the I. Like, come on.
But yeah, for me, a lot of times I'll just tell people to call me Pierre. Just say Pierre, and then that's kind of how I got into my name of like just say Sweet Pea. But I mean that name kind of dropped down from Jesse Germ. But I mean you're too nice.
You're wholesome. You're wholesome ass fucking dude. Both of you. Yeah. You're wholesome as fuck. So
yeah. So hey, appreciate. But I mean it was just like You're like, yeah, you're just a nice dude. So, add the sweet with the P, and like, people can't pronounce your name, so just say P.
Yo, that flyer had me dying.
Oh my god, bro! Oh my god!
Yo.
Hey, we ain't done. Hey, Rome, Raj. I'm coming after you guys, man.
Yo, typos happen, man, but that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
So that's not the first time that I had a typo on my name.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
But actually, the other time was when someone misspelled sweet.
What?
Like, what do they spell it as? Like, how? Like, I can't even think of what it would be.
Don't tell me they
like
did the
sweat
sweet
pea
line.
or something, or sweating pea.
No, you. Oh my god.
Like, what could it be?
How'd you get it right the first time?
Wait, I did?
God.
Yeah, they put sweat. They put sweat.
I mean, sweat kind of makes sense because you break, you sweat. I can't. Maybe it's like, yo, you put a blood sweat into.
Sweat.
I feel like maybe like there was some sort of logic behind that, but the PEE that's just complete. That's just kind of that's kind of sus.
Hey, but I mean, no, it's all love from Rome and Roger. I know that they had we just had a conversation about it, but I'm like, ain't no way you put PEE, man. I'm like, these people playing my name.
Yep.
Somebody thought they had a joke.
I mean, the thing about a lot of these events, it's very grassroots. It's not like there's like 500 people working on it and everyone has one job. Like, mistakes happen, typos happen. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If anything, it just comes up with funny stories.
Exactly. Sure, that's what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, shout out to B-Boy City. Shout out to Rome, Roger. We just had like an amazing time at the South by South Museum of Graffiti this past weekend, and
at Native too. They threw a nice event at Native, the Seven to Smoke.
Yeah,
it was tight.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, try to be a part of South by Southwest in this way. I think they're trying to do something new with breaking community and including them in other things.
Yeah,
and I think it's tight. I think it's a new idea.
So I mean, kind of still addressing the whole situation with what they're doing with the Seven to Smoke at Native. I mean, I couldn't attend the event. I was supposed to be on the floor. I was supposed to be in the Seven to Smoke. But, man, these hamstrings be too tight.
It happens.
I actually injured myself.
You got to take care of yourself first,
Yeah. So, I mean, I injured myself 2 weeks before the event. And I was just like, man, like I was really trying to get down at the Seven to Smoke. So I don't want y'all to think that I was scared or anything. But I will be coming back. And a question to you. So outside of Rad Crew, what other crew is your favorite B-Boy crew?
We know that's the number one spot, but
Yeah, outside of Rad.
Give me a minute. I gotta think. I mean, like, is it 1 or is it like 10 or?
I guess you could say like any of the crews, and they could be overseas too.
That's a very big. All right, what's my favorite crew for something? Give me
Give me
like a constraint.
All right,
that's a lot because there's so many dope crews. It's just I can't name one.
All right, so your favorite crew in terms of content, like releasing content.
Let's think.
I don't know how many there are.
There's not a lot of crew that do content. I think the only crew I could think of that was doing like, what do you mean by content? Like any kind of social media channel or?
Yeah, I mean like anything that's like from a creative standpoint, from doing things with collaborations and stuff like that nature, and
Underground Flow, I know did.
I mean even like B-Boy clips, like where people upload videos with like music and stuff like that.
I think personally for me, maybe I'm just saying this because of fucking TikTok, but I think with Jinjo crew.
Jinjo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember the one of their beatboxers. I believe he's in his crew, or maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. They did this whole like meme where like they just did something really simple, like in front of the camera, and then they all fucking freaked out and started breaking and shit in the background. It was like one of those like overly reaction videos that were just a parody of like everyone else that was doing that for like years on YouTube and shit. Yeah. And I just thought it was fucking hilarious. And also the thing is like, breakers just don't do well on TikTok for the most part. So it's like to see someone in the scene be able to do that and like figure out at least the algorithm for their content for that time. I thought that was dope,
But why do you think that? Why do you think breakers don't do well on TikTok?
Because they keep it real. That app, you just can't keep it real.
You gotta be a meme machine just to be on there.
Like you can keep it real, but
y'all
the thing
too
is,
real.
You can keep it real, but the thing is like, breakers are like nerds. You know what I mean? Like you could be a nerd for poetry, you could be a nerd for I guess anime or comic books, you could be a nerd for photography or camera stuff. Yeah. But the moment you start speaking as if someone already has known your craft for years, like you talk about your intricate threads or your footwork text, like you talk to and you're talking to an audience on TikTok that are a bunch of 9-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids that all play like Minecraft, Subway Surfers, Halo. You know, they don't give a damn about breaking.
That's
but
true.
It's not that they don't give a damn. It's just you are speaking to an audience that knows breaking and knows breaking really well. So in order to speak to like a bunch of kids that don't know anything about it, you have to dumb it down. I mean, that's why street performers do so well, because they have to dumb down their moves.
Yeah.
And keep it really simple. Like a lot of these a lot of these street hitters can do some crazy shit if they wanted to battle. Not all of them. Some of them just want to make the bread, and that's cool. But they could do some crazy shit, but they have to dumb down the moves. Like they can't do some crazy flare combination. Like they just have to do basic big ass flares, and the crowd. And that's all you need. That's all you need.
How can you make your flares bigger?
Yeah. Or just you don't need to do like some crazy thread and a flip. You just need to just flip over like 5 people. It's still hard. Don't get me wrong, but it's dumbed down and simplified.
It's more of a spectacle than it is.
So I see it as this.
That's
like
true.
if breakers want to do really well on social media, they can do really well, and they can press a circle with some cutting edge move that no one has done before, or their hot take on their opinions, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But they're speaking within the community, and the community is only a finite number. But if you want to speak to a community of people that don't give a damn about your stuff, not that they don't give a damn, but like it's just they're not your audience.
Yeah.
You need to explain your craft like a 5-year-old kid, and a lot of breakers don't want to do that.
Or just make it interesting. Like,
Yeah.
Are they gonna laugh at it? Or are they gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm a
I
snitch?"
think you have
that's
to be
fine.
more relatable.
Yeah,
and I
that's-
think in breaking, I think a lot of people are like very tunnel vision in terms of like what they think of the world. Like a lot of breakers kind of like view breaking as the world to them.
Yeah,
So,
like have you seen these Facebook arguments during the pandemic? Like,
oh
they're
man,
speaking to an audience of like 500 people, probably that's on
Yeah.
the friend page, or like speaking in all these like community groups on like it gets toxic, and you realize at the end of the day it's only like 500,000 people. Like if you want to reach millions, you need to like, I guess the word is not selling out, but you need to just dumb your shit down so that they understand. And you know what?
Yeah.
That person that clearly understood what you were doing might be inspired to actually get deep into it. And then, you kind of give them the introductory gateway, and then from there they might get hooked.
yeah.
That's just how it is.
So I mean, who do you think are some pretty well successful social media content creator breakers? Because I know you had mentioned before you thought H was a really good one. So we shot one with Najaya.
Yeah, so I think for this generation, I would say it's Najaya. I would say it's H. I would say it's Shafar. Shafar, it's Najaya's I believe older brother.
Okay.
And this dude from Germany, I think his name's like Gio, something like that. And actually, they are probably the top. They are probably the biggest followed breakers currently on TikTok, I believe. I could be wrong.
It's crazy.
And they blew up because like I think that dance came out called the Sturdy. I don't actually know where it came from. It probably came from a music video.
It's 30.
I think it probably came from a music video.
Can you show that?
Can you get started, my guy?
I don't do it. I don't do it, man. But you
No, I'm kidding, I'm
if
kidding, I'm
you've been
kidding.
breaking, that probably showed up on your Explore page on Instagram, or Free page, or your YouTube Shorts or whatever. And they blew up because you know what? The Sturdy was a thing that all the kids wanted to see, but they just incorporate breaking into it. Like this dude was doing the Sturdy, and out of nowhere, out of pocket, this dude just does a 1.5 on concrete, and then goes back in Sturdy like nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Smooth. And like only like high level breakers can do that without stuttering.
Yeah.
And these
That's
dudes
true.
were doing it. And the funny thing, everyone except for I believe, and like the dude Gio, he was doing all that Sturdy, but he was doing it in a construction outfit, like mad dirty. Like I think the dude was just filming on his job. I don't know, or maybe it could be staged. Like social
Man,
media is
you
fake as fuck. So,
you making it
know.
rhyme and everything. Like he was doing the sturdy, but it was mad dirty.
No, yeah, he was just like, he just looked like an unassuming guy that was on his job, so it's relatable. Like, oh, it's just a dude in his construction outfit. He has a normal job. He doesn't have like a crazy paying job that no one could relate to. He's
Yeah.
a relatable dude, and that dude was just fucking killing it, And he's very high level. Like, actually, his rounds are kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then folks like Shafar and Najee, like I believe they get it because they're street performers and they understand the fundamentals of dumbing down your content. Sorry, dumbing down your moves so that they understand. And they were killing it with with the dance. They were and the other thing was one thing that works really well on social media is public reaction, public pranks, because people just want to see how people react.
Yeah.
They were just doing that shit in public. They were, they were hitting in Times Square, or maybe they weren't hitting that day, but yeah, generally they do hit, and they would just have their friend film them, and then they just did the thing, and it gets millions of views.
Yeah, that makes me think of all of the Tims wearing Spider-Man breakers and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're talking about Tata. That was another one I was gonna bring up. I thought Tata was like probably one of the paragons of the whole like breaking social media thing.
I feel like Tata really made like, I think there's like a big border between hitters and breakers. Hitters, they want to get the bag, straight up. They make the money, they go home, and it's a job for them,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of breakers do hit, but like straight up hitters, a lot of them don't break. Like no, they don't break within like the breaking community. You know what I mean? And for a lot of the breakers, where was I going with this? I don't remember. What was the question again?
So it was with Tata. Wait, the question.
With Tata. Yeah. So with Tata, I think that honestly, Tata was just doing it because it was dope. Like he just did it for shits and giggles. Honestly.
But he was doing it with a Spider-Man suit and Tim's.
Yeah,
Tims, bro.
He was cool. He was a dead ass Spider-Man. I think it was like him, like with the Tims. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I learned about Spider-Man cosplayers in New York is they dedicate themselves. I remember I shot a bunch of Spider-Man cosplayers in 95-degree weather, humid as fuck. They did not take their costume off. They did not take their apparel because they wanted to like be Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man cosplayers in New York is just strange. They are.
They must be out there commandoing.
But anyways,
no way.
I don't know what it is about New York. I guess because Peter Parker lives in Queens or whatever.
That's true.
It's true. Then we have like people like Spider Cuz, like the dude with the Jack Daniel. So I actually
wait, what?
I actually filmed it. So it's like a dude in a Spider-Man outfit, with the blue bandana, looking like a and shit, with the Yankee fitted.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude just makes content where he just he always drinks Jack Daniels, this fool was at the gym pounded like half to almost the entire bottle and was like lifting weights, doing cleans. Like it was crazy.
Spider Cuz.
And just just being, I guess the word degenerate, I don't know.
Hey, shout out Spider Cuz, man.
He's dope. He's dope. That guy is a real one. Like exactly what he is on social media, it's exactly what he is in person. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's funny. Hey, that's dope.
Yeah. So, anyways, with breaking, I think like with Tato, if he puts on a costume, it's just like, well, these people might not care about breaking, but they have a certain emotional connection with their favorite superhero, and it might be Spider-Man, and they just want to see Spider-Man do some extra shit more than just standing there because he's agile. And frankly, the suit is pretty easy. I mean, it's just a jumpsuit. So.
Yeah, with Tim's.
With Tim's. All right, with Tim's is pretty hard.
But that's the thing. I think it's a lot more relatable to a lot of people in New York because they see the Tim's. And Tim's are just so prominent. Tim's are just so prominent in the minds of people. Like when you conceptualize New Yorkers.
Yeah, it's the most dead ass shit you can.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So it's like, I mean, if you see someone with Tim's, I'm like, oh yeah, that's New York. That's New York.
They know. Hey, speaking of people who dress up in New York, what was your kind of like I guess your favorite costumes that you've been able to take film of?
By the time I finish editing, I don't want to see it again, so none, I guess.
It's
like sometimes I'm excited about it, but then by the time I edit and like look at it, the video like 100 times, by the time I push it out there, I'm like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
I think I filmed a video at this cosplay convention called KatsuCon. I think it's like the top convention, at least in the States, but I believe it's pretty international. People fly out all over the place to it. Probably because that convention center does not look like shit. It's like a giant gazebo. It just looks really dope.
Yeah.
So everyone posts like their best outfits. So there's some crazy shit. I was looking for a Kang Conqueror because anime was coming out. I was like, you know what? It's a good idea to like try to catch this shit while it's like hot and on people's minds. And I just made a goofy ass fucking video with them.
I've seen like almost all your videos, bro.
No, I just had this idea. I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna shoot an anime. I don't want to like rotoscoping green screen like a tiny little person and shit.
Yeah.
But I ended up like doing that with I just found a wasp. Like no one wants to dress as Ant-Man. I don't know. He's just not the coolest, I guess.
I don't know why they didn't get Ant-Man wings. Like literally,
he's
less powered than the Wasp. Like
I always think about that.
Yeah.
Like I played I think it was like that game on Switch. It was like Marvel Universal MUA. Marvel Universe Assemble. I don't remember what it was. And yeah, the Wasp was overpowered, so I just But yeah, I just wanted to do like a video concept of like the Wasp going in his ass and blowing him to pieces because it was just like it always started with a meme of like how Thanos would get killed by Ant-Man if he just goes up his ass.
Just goes.
So wait. So you're gonna be the hero that actually shows us.
Yeah. So
that movie would have ended like.
Yeah, he actually showed you what it should have happened.
Yeah, like, it's a pothole, you know. So.
Wait, so I mean, what's the weirdest thing that a client has asked you to like record them doing? Like, and this could be like, have you ever had anyone even also request like OnlyFans work too? Like,
I got hit up by OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
wow. By OnlyFans?
So they sent an email, right? And I think at that time they were trying to get other people that weren't doing porn. Or artistic stuff.
Yeah,
artistic images with the iPhone.
Y'all get that right. Artisticness. Yep. Okay, we're doing art, not.
I mean, you know, props to OnlyFans creators.
I'm just joking.
Because it's a business. They have to do it, and they have to conduct themselves as business, even though it doesn't look like it. There's a lot of shit on the back end that they have to run like everything else.
100%.
But they hit me up because they were like, you know what? It'll be cool. You can just like make a bunch of these masterclass videos, and you can sell them on OnlyFans. I was asking them, are you gonna pay me? And they were like, no, but we can support you and, you know, feature you on our Instagram. And I'm like, dude, I have more fucking reach than you guys.
Yeah.
At least on their page, you know.
And they're trying to change their image because everybody thinks of them as a certain platform for a certain thing.
Oh, that ain't changing.
And they want to be more like a Patreon, but
that ain't changing.
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to be a Patreon, and it was happening. And I just told them flat out, no, I was like, I don't have time to film these extra things for an extra channel because I'm already focused on these social media platforms. I'd rather triple down on these and get these to a certain place. And also, like, for my mental health, I didn't want to create that much stuff.
Do you think that type of model would work for you, though, like the subscription model?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it depends. Well, the thing is, like, I understand how the OnlyFans models work. It's just, like, people love sex. Sex sells, you know?
Yeah.
It's the reason why you spend massive amounts of cash going out to bar and...
And that's the motivation, but...
Put on all these fly clothing, buy all these colognes, buy all these cars, buy all these cribs... You know, just to attract the sex that you are interested in, you know. And I get why. It's like, so sex sells, right? And with OnlyFans, it's just like, where the fuck was I going with this?
Like, how would that subscription model like work for your content?
Like,
could you do that?
Oh, wait, yeah, I understand. So sex sells, right? And the thing is, a lot of these content on OnlyFans are half-baked images. Not because they're bad, but because people want to see a real person. Like, you know, obviously porn is shot on a nice camera, blah, 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 and then some skanky ass motel probably. But it's shot a lot better, right? A lot of these OnlyFans, they're shot on iPhones, it's all blurry and shit, whatever. It's because people just want to see a real person. You know, people will pay someone like $500, $1,000, $3,000 just so they could touch the belly button. And, you know, they probably can find that on the internet, but I think it's just the fact that someone on that account that has some sort of reputation recognized their request and did it, and that's what gets them off, I guess.
Yeah.
I still wrap my head around why people buy this, but I try to like I try to wrap my head around it. I guess it makes sense. For them, right, what I was saying is like a lot of the content they make is pretty easy. You know, they could shoot 100 images. They got hired photographers to shoot 100 images, and they got packages for days and weeks and weeks and weeks. For me to create like a class, for example, it's going to take a lot more work. And I'm not entirely sure if the payoff for it, for $20 a class or something, I'm not entirely sure if the payoff is worth it because I haven't really seen anyone on OnlyFans create this. I haven't really seen a lot of photographers do Patreons either and stuff like that. And maybe I'm wrong, but you know, I think it's just because there's just a lot of production value needed for photographers and for videographers and for content creators to create these classes. So I think it just really boils down to, is it worth the return on investment? Is it worth a return on your blood, sweat, and tears?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
The demand is different, I think.
Yep.
Demand comes strong with the hormones.
Yeah, and a week later, after I just told him, I was like, yo, you guys aren't paying me, I'm good. I'm not doing it. After a week later, I guess it was announced on news that they were gonna ban pornography for OnlyFans. I mean that didn't really work out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't work out at all.
they lifted that real fast after they realized their entire model
Oh yeah.
was influencer porn, I guess.
Shoot, Tumblr did that, and their whole user base just was cut into
Yeah.
like a tenth.
It went to Twitter.
Shit with Twitter.
Yep.
It went straight to Twitter. Nah. All right. So actually, I had another question. So you kind of already answered like some of the stuff. Like, actually, let's go into so. What are some of the activities you went and did at the South by South event?
Almost nothing.
Imagine
Almost
out here
nothing.
chilling.
I didn't take advantage of this like $2,000 badge they gave me. I mean, so far.
$2,000 badge.
It's all right. So
That's
I
little
I
money.
came.
That's little money.
So I'm like the whole Forrest Gump of this shit. Like I did not know. I didn't know what South by Southwest is. I never really had an interest in it. I worked on advertising campaigns that had to do with it, but I never went there. And now that I went there, I kind of wrapped my head around it. Oh, I get it. It's B2B. It's like business to business. It's just like how everyone wants to announce, like this company wants to announce how they're gonna spend more money on like reducing the carbon footprint or whatever. It's just a lot of it is just I mean, almost all of them is like that, and a lot of it is just pretty much performative. And for me, I just don't have any interest in it. I mean, because I used to work in like the corporate world and I used to work in advertising, and I know almost everything is performative, and it's also like the tiniest amount that they could expense.
Yeah.
It's all write-offs for them.
The man with the platinum badge, and he's like, I don't need it.
I mean, just blowing. I mean, like, dude, like
You got a
all
gold chain hanging from your belt.
all these comedians, this entire week that these tech folks were going to, were getting roasted for that exact same insight. It's like all of it's performative. It's like whatever makes that brand feel good, so that people are like, you guys aren't the villains, because everyone hates corporations. Just how it is.
That's true. So with kind of like the current climate of how corporations and banks and stuff like that are kind of like falling, what would you say about like advertisements? Would you say the revenue coming in from advertisers are like expected to kind of dwindle or go down?
Yes,
coming future.
I think so. So what I've learned in the advertising industry is advertising is a write-off. It's an expense that the business, an entity will use because it's money they spend, and they get to pay lower taxes at the end of the year. And they need it because they need to get the word out. Yeah. And I think that from what I've known, when businesses are not generating enough revenue for the quarter or for the year, and investors are really on their ass, the first thing they always cut is always advertising.
Yeah.
Because they need to focus on the core first, and they'll figure out whatever shortcut and means and ways. So when there's money spent, they'll blow an average. I mean, billboards and everything, they cost a lot of money, A lot of the money's wasted. I mean, how many people give a damn about the billboard you see on the highway? Some of those billboards are like in the 5 to 6 figure mark per day, depending on what city. Like in Times Square, it's like $30,000 to $40,000 last time I checked per day to have.
That's insane.
I mean, if you do that for like a month or two, it's a lot of money,
Commercials, money, right? But I guess I've noticed that with the new advertising strategy, everything that's coming out with Facebook and Google, right? That was on a huge boom, and then as soon as Apple came in, it was like, no, we're going to lock down some security features. It's going to cancel all of that. Now the advertising money for that is going down as well. And the effectiveness went down of that as well. So it's like, dang, where is advertising going? Is it going to keep growing in different ways, or is it going to be in a lull for a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to try not to speak in like business terms, because I could really easily go like media spend, blah, blah. But all right, to dumb it down, when you sold your information to Facebook by, signing up to the stuff and just being, just your normal human behavior on the phone, and they would push that shit to advertisers. And what happens is, like, if you decide to spend some time looking at content about a phone, they're going to start pushing phones to you, right? And the thing is, like, once they took that out, a lot of these advertisers couldn't target their ads correctly. So a lot of these paid ads just went to random people that weren't interested in phones, for example. Yeah. So it was actually extremely easy for anyone. I mean, that's why dropshipping was freaking huge, because of how much targeting you can make on Facebook and on Google AdSense and everything. But now it's kind of like up in the air, and people realize that it's not as easy as it used to be. So I think people are still doing it. It's tougher now. I think what was the rest of your question again?
I was just talking about how Apple kind of changed their piece.
They did. They made it more. They made it significantly harder. It just means that a lot of brands are gonna blow a lot of cash. That's gonna go nowhere.
Seems like you gotta spend more money.
So I mean, layout. What exactly is Apple doing?
So before, I think there was a lot of tracking information that was just on by default.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you could always opt out. I believe the case was, but Mr. Cook made a decision that security first for all of their Apple users and defaulted tracking to off for all iPhones after a certain update. So now users would actually have to go in and enable things to have targeted ads for themselves. So now they're getting all these untargeted ads, which is, fine for, not giving information. But
yeah,
if you're trying to target certain people, then you're not going to be able to do that as effectively.
But I thought they had cut that off for users like Google and stuff like that.
I'm sure that they probably have their own.
I take that back. I believe Google wasn't affected. It was just Facebook.
Okay.
Because I mean, if you're gonna search the web, and you're gonna look things up, Google's gonna start pushing ads to you, and I think it's fine. I think no one has been really bothered by Google because it's been out there for a while. But people were bothered by Facebook, the fact that they were tracking information.
But that's kind of like everywhere. Like I think in now, like today's term, like in this world today, I mean, I think that was the biggest argument against TikTok. They were saying, "Oh, China can spy on you, whatever."
It's a power play by Facebook and Google.
Yeah, and I think TikTok is killing them, and I think that's why a lot of that kind of narrative started like spewing about TikTok, and but at the same time, I think Facebook, Google, all these other people are tracking you just as much.
Apple's tracking their own
people. It's because I'm gonna probably botch this from what because I've been reading this like this whole week, but like I haven't really read deep into it, so don't take my word for it. But I believe that Facebook hired a bunch of PR companies to basically implant a bunch of stories about how these video clips of kids doing dangerous things were doing on TikTok. But the funniest thing was it wasn't even on TikTok; it was on Facebook. But I mean, politicians don't know this shit, so I guess. So. A lot of these politicians get paid by Facebook and Google. They sponsor them. They pay them. Politicians are basically like sponsored athletes. You pay them. They talk good things about it. And sorry, you're not a monster. That's right. Anyway, I mean, it's just like this. If
you're good.
People don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. And if you're a politician and they funded your campaign and that's how you got to where you are, you're gonna treat them good. If they have something that they want to pass or they don't like, you're gonna try your best to favor them. That's just how it is.
It's big business.
Yep. The whole China thing is really just an excuse. It's really just a power play because what happened was, do you remember the time when Instagram just started cutting back views?
Yeah, and they were kind of taking away the icon where you can actually see the amount of views, likes, and stuff like that you're getting on your.
No, not that part. The part where they were basically just like crippling views for a lot of content creators and for people in general. Like,
so I remember if you were following the people you were following, right? There's a percentage of things that you're not following and things that you are following that they'll show to you in your feed, and they started changing the percentage of the stuff that you're not following, right? Yep. So even all the people that you follow, half the people are not even seeing their stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
so I remember,
So what happened is Instagram has gone to a phase, and Facebook has gone to a phase where they're no longer a new app on the block. They're no longer a new company. They have so much in the culture that people need them that, you know what, social media is like a drug. We're going to pull back this drug. And you know what? You're going to want all those likes and all those views that you used to get. So you know what that happens? You pay for it. So this was a power play. I keep saying that word. It's not a power play. This was just they're just at the point where they can monetize. So they just cut back views, and now brands have to blow money instead of getting all these free views.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was harder to earn your views. You had to pay for your views.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to pay for everything else. And what happened is like people got tired of it. It affected a lot of people's creators' mental health, because they felt like those numbers became the worth. Like they don't want to think that way, but it really does rewire your brain.
Yeah, it does.
And then TikTok comes out of nowhere, and you could just make this one half big video that gets like 100 million views. It's like, well, then everyone's like, well, fuck Instagram. I can get all these free fucking views on my products, or on my art or just me just making jokes or whatever, they could get all for free on TikTok.
Their algorithm is just different.
Yep.
I heard.
And TikTok is going to get to that phase eventually, like everything else, where they're going to pull back on the views once they have everyone by the nuts, or the ovaries, whatever. Why am I saying that? I don't.
Let you know how it is.
We gotta keep it inclusive, I guess, right? You know, once a brand gets to like a certain phase where they have everything they need, they're gonna try and monetize, and TikTok will do that. They're kind of trying to do that right now, but you know, they're still trying to figure it out. But the China thing is really simple. If they, most likely, what happens with this pressure is TikTok is not gonna get taken down. There's just too much cultural power. A lot of these Gen Z will vote all these politicians out if they ban TikTok.
Oh yeah.
And also, I mean, everyone has, like, the new gen are not stupid. They all just download VPN, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And so where was I going with this? I fucking forgot. Sorry, I haven't had much sleep today.
You're all good. So we were talking about. What were we talking about? No, I'm kidding.
This man crazy.
Like, I've been working all day.
Like an hour.
So my thing was, I was kind of curious to why, you know, TikTok was being given all this negative narrative.
Oh, right. That was the point of the question.
Mm-hmm.
Because Facebook can't make money and Google can't make money if everyone's just going on TikTok. That's just how it is.
That
Every
viewership
app is fighting for how much watch time you have. You know, if you look at the average watch time on TikTok, it's like somewhere around the numbers of like 20 minutes to an hour that they're on the app. The amount of time people spend on Instagram is like 30 seconds. Like, these are not the wrong numbers, but you can look it up and you can realize no one's really on Instagram. People go on Instagram and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to scroll back. And then people just doom scroll to death on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking all your time away from this app, they want that time back. It's, you know, social media is a drug.
Yeah.
And they want people to be hooked on their, you know, on what they got.
Well, you
and
realize,
everyone's hooked on TikTok. Nobody wants to be on Instagram. And Instagram and Google are like, we want money. We want you to be hooked on our shit. That's all it is.
But Google got everyone hooked on YouTube.
YouTube is always going to be there.
Yeah.
YouTube's going to be there. But what's crazy is I think everybody else has realized that people's attention spans are getting smaller and smaller. And with that, the continuous enjoyment of, some sort of gratification here, and then immediate gratification here, and immediate gratification here, just watching the next video, and the next video, and the next video keeps you on there longer than one long video.
That's true.
Yep.
You get a great algorithm like TikTok that constantly shows you all the stuff you want to watch, right? All the stuff that's going to tick that box in your head, and people are just spending hours on it.
The algorithm is too good on that. Like, Instagram has terrible algorithm. And also, like, all right, when you want to look up a restaurant in a new city, where do you go usually? Let me ask you that.
Where do I would go to either Yelp or Google.
Google, right? That's our generation. The new generation, they don't even go on Google. They go on it to find the address, but they go on TikTok because, like, you'll look at these reviews and you look at some terribly shot food by by guests or people that attend that restaurant.
Yeah.
You go on TikTok, you type in top places to eat in Austin, Texas, right? All these videos pop down of people just reviewing the restaurant, the vibe. You can see whether or not this is just like cheap eatery that you get between lunches, you know, because you're on a job, or this is a nice place to bring your friends or dates or a business, you know, and you get to see the food directly and what they personally like, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's just significantly more dynamic if you need to find recommendations. And because of that, it's a massive threat to, you know, to Yelp and to Google as well. You know?
That's true. Yeah. Cause you're a large disturbance to the already existing market when you can, you know, kind of upgrade what they're doing, but you show it on a much more personal level and relatable level to where people can actually see real people eating the food that they, you know, might be interested in actually ordering.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that you would see social media companies. Sure, each social media company will take some market share of the other social media company, but I never thought you would see social media companies taking market share or attention away from completely different apps that are not even used specifically.
Yeah, something in a completely different lane.
Like, I use Google all the time, but like you said, you know, pictures are taken bad. And then if you get all this stuff in your feed about these great places to eat, I'm saving that.
Yeah, because I watched like a 30-second video about a review of this restaurant. I'm like, I at least have a way better idea of whether or not this is gonna be good or trash, you know?
Yeah.
Way better idea.
Yeah.
So Kien, you look too smart, man. And I think
am I only got I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I look like shit. Right?
I'm not saying that because you have glasses or anything. But my question to you: what cryptos are you holding?
Yo, they're all dying right now.
They are, but if you could, what crypto will you buy, or are you currently holding?
I'm holding a. I'll check my phone later. I think right now I'm mostly holding Ethereum and Bitcoin because I personally believe that Bitcoin is one of the first cryptos that actually got big. So if you're first on the internet, it's always gonna be there.
Yeah,
Bitcoin's king. Ethereum because they actually have an application. Everything else is just whatever. You know. I'm not a crypto expert, so I don't want to speak like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I would say all my cryptos in the shitters, and I'm just not selling them. I'm just holding them. I bought them at a pretty good price, but I mean, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Like how long ago? You don't like how long ago did you buy?
I did not touch my wallet for about an entire year. I forgot it existed.
Okay.
But
well,
I bought it around 2017. You know, like everyone else that bought crypto at that time.
Oh, then you good.
Some people bought at the top. I bought a lot at the top, and I bought a lot at the bottom. I think things evened out, and you know, during like the big spike with crypto, like.
You were
what year was that? What year was that?
Like
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
Oh man, I look wealthy as fuck, but now I look poor as fuck. You know, it just is what it is.
I'm holding a lot of XRP, XLM.
Yeah.
And some other tokens underneath the Ethereum network.
Those are high risk. Those are they just go up and down like this.
Oh yeah, but
like, there's no like. I mean, all cryptos volatile. It's the pattern's not like this. Like XRP, XLM. It's like actually XLM is decent. XRP is the one that's like.
Yeah. Well, I thought XRP was a really good investment, just kind of like due to the real world use case of like what they're using it for, and like with it being used for payments, it was like the first. It was the first crypto. I was about to say TikTok. It was the first crypto that was pretty much used like in a business model where a company could actually utilize it as part of their technology stack, but also the first crypto that was cheap, fast, and I thought there's a lot of utility there. But I think there's too many manipulation going on between the government trying to like say, hey, we want to pick this person as a winner or this person, but I'm gonna keep holding.
We're waiting on that lawsuit.
Yeah, that lawsuit. Once that lawsuit passes, it turns out good. Hey, it's good for me. I mean, but if it's also bad, I mean, I bought really early, so I'm still in the good place.
There's so much news on so many coins, and there's so many updates every day. I can't keep up.
There's so much more. Well, you saw what happened with Meta recently. Meta's removing all what do you call it? Support for
Metaverse.
NFTs.
Yeah.
Not just Metaverse. NFTs are being pulled off of Instagram and Facebook. You know, when you had support for that, you could put your Bored Ape.
So that was quick. That was really quick.
That was great.
But you know what's the craziest part was that like how Meta had what was it? They had laid off like what was it like 5 or 10%? So say that they I think they laid off about like 10% of their workforce earlier this year, and then now they just recently made another announcement that they will be laying off another 10%.
There was a lot of people that were doing absolutely nothing. Like they would hire groups within groups to just fight for work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of project managers that are not really doing the job. And you know what really makes it worse? Dude, on TikTok, there's all these like a day of life attack. There's just all these people that look really attractive. They're like, all I do every day is I make a coffee, I just sit on the couch and watch TV.
Young people,
and then
out here
I hit the Excel sheets for about and the emails for about like 30 minutes, and then I just chill all day and go surfing. And
you're like telling on yourself.
I don't do that.
No, not you. But I'm just saying. Like those people are those. They're like telling on themselves. They're literally recording themselves. Like I've seen some of those TikToks where they're like, "All right, here I am. All right, I'm gonna act like I'm doing something," and they literally put it in text and everything. I'm like, dude, you're telling on yourself.
Yep.
Like,
and I mean, a lot of those jobs are not like. They're basically just dumbing down because, I mean, this is what I truly believe in the workforce. There's always maybe 3 or 4 people that actually carry a project or entire team or entire like leg of a department.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just bullshitting and they don't know what the hell they're doing. But they could probably getting paid more to gaslight everyone. You know, that's just how it is. There's always like 3 or 4 people that are carrying and when those people leave, they're all fucked. You know, I think what Meta's doing is they're just trying to cut down to like. They're trying to trim all the fat of all the overhiring they're doing just so they can focus on the teams that are most efficient.
Yeah.
And also, they're just losing money. They're hemorrhaging. I mean, they spent like billions on VR that's going nowhere right now.
Oh, 100%. But we're seeing that across the entire tech industry. Like everyone's kind of like laid off a lot of people.
That's the worst thing, though. They thought they picked the next big thing, so they took this huge gamble. And then turns out Chat GPT comes out and everybody wants to do AI now.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But I think they did AR, not
VR.
AR. Yeah, VR. I think they did VR the wrong way. Meta. The way that they approached it in terms of like, okay, well, we're gonna use a headset, and you know how
some of the work
Zuckerberg like did the whole thing about like creating that augmented reality, and you can kind of like go in, and I don't think that's the way. I think people want to see it much more in a real utility perspective. Like they want to see it in a way where it's actually being used in a way, like let's say going to the grocery store. Like if you can find a way to augment that in a way where it's more efficient to shop, like in augmented reality,
sure,
versus actually just putting on a headset and then just going online.
Now. Yeah. So people are doing Instacart now.
Well,
so
yeah. But that was just an example.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I personally have a Quest 2, and I actually enjoy it. I actually don't play any other video games. I play a game called Population 1. It's basically VR but Fortnite. Like the graphics are not gonna be like on an Xbox or a PlayStation or even a Switch or on a PC, but it's extremely immersive, and I think they did it right. But the problem is, VR isn't. I'm just talking about games right now, at least the game component.
Mm-hmm.
VR is in a place where they don't know what their audience is, and things like PlayStation VR, like they kind of want to jump in, but they don't know if the market is correct for it. I do think VR will get there eventually. But right now, like, there's going to be successions of, there's going to be generations of, like, fails and everything before it gets to a point where, like, we know what we're doing. Like, I've seen some shit like, the Quest Pro, they showed how you can do office work with a VR headset.
Oh, my God. Nobody wants
no,
Nobody
wants to
do
you see that?
That's just some dumb shit. That's like, that's some tech shit, like, the future. I mean, maybe there will be an application in the future, and maybe they'll use components of that to come up with a new idea, because that's usually how it works, a bunch of bad ideas, and then you take the pro from all those bad ideas and you put them together and you create something groundbreaking. It will happen.
But that's the worst way to market it.
Yep. And also, like, I knew, like, Resident Evil, like, for example, like, Resident Evil did a Quest. All they did was just repackage Resident Evil 4 and put it in the Quest. It was so half-baked. It was, like, the laziest game development. And you can tell, like, for example, like, PlayStation, they kind of wanted to test the waters. But they test the water by putting something half-baked.
Yeah.
No, it just, and obviously everyone on board is just like, yeah, it didn't work. We're not gonna put more effort into it,
Yeah, that's true.
But I fucking love VR. I think that I wish there was more games on it because it's so fucking immersive.
Yeah, get some.
There's so many communities right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, if they get like a big name under like any of these VR type games, like let's say you put Mario Kart on VR.
Dog, a Mario Kart game in VR would be so epic.
Or like something crazy like that. I think that would be like really dope, and like a legit Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Like, don't like not one of the half baked games like they do with some of the other stuff.
I agree. I don't think because like Facebook and Meta is not known for making video games. They're just flat out right. They're trying something new because I guess they can't really work on like the paid ad model is just not really clicking for them anywhere ever since Apple. So they basically put all their eggs into VR.
Yeah.
And I think that if video games companies felt like it was the right time of the market, they'll invest in it. None of them want to push the button right now because they just don't feel like the market might be interested. That's all it is.
But the thing is, I think they calculated a little wrong because they think VR is the next smartphone. It's not. It's not as convenient. It's not as useful. Yeah. It's immersive and fun. It's a great new technology that's groundbreaking, but it's not for everyone.
Yep.
And I think they tried to make it for everyone, which was, I think, the wrong move. So like even with the Quest Pro, like you've got creators creating things in 3D, which is great. That's a one way to market that as work. But you talking about everybody at the company is supposed to have an opinion and push and wear and produce and come up with stuff how to work in VR. Just because you can have 3 screens in VR, which is nice, doesn't mean I would like wearing a headset all day.
I think VR is really good for building skill sets where you can basically revive yourself over and over like a video game. So I've noticed when I was playing shooting games on VR headsets, I personally don't shoot guns. I'm from New York. We just don't shoot guns like that. I think in Texas, everyone has a gun, right?
I sure do.
You probably do too. Everyone does. It's just howdy neighbor. Everyone has a gun, but or a switchblade.
I know some people, they just open their backyard and they just shoot from there.
Yeah, fuck it. Exactly. So I don't shoot guns. I just don't. It's just where I grew up in, and I understand why Texas is the way it is. But I just realized that I'm a fucking sharpshooter. I went to my brother-in-law for some reason. They just wanted to go to a gun range. I shot the farthest with no experience with I forgot it was an AR. It was it was one of the assault rifles. I have extremely high pinpoint accuracy because I've been shooting so much with the Quest Pro.
Yeah.
So I think there is application for that, and I think in the future people will use that to simulate surgeries, simulate different like responses with militaries, emergencies and everything. I think there's a lot of application for that, and also like for example, FPV drones.
Yeah.
You put on the goggles. It's not exactly VR, but it is VR in a sense. But there are VR games on that where you can basically simulate. So you crash 1 billion times before you actually fly your something you paid your hard-earned money for.
Yeah.
And crash into a forest and.
So you're saying that all your senses are heightened, like. Like from playing VR, like
it's really fucking good actually.
Like you're like Kirito, like
it's
like
really,
sort of online.
It's extremely accurate. It's extremely accurate. Seriously.
That man came out a marksman.
Yeah, I did. I was just like, what? This is insane. Because I was like, it's a video game. I didn't think about it. But
yeah.
I became a marksman. I guess 10 out of 10 or the farthest range.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Do you have any siblings?
I have an older sister.
Oh, just an older sister.
Yep.
Dude, and does she live in New York too?
Yep. She lives in New York.
That's cool. I got one sister, younger sister. She's dope. She's about to graduate college.
Yeah, she dope.
This man.
She's cool. Yeah, we got a whole village at the house, man.
Village.
We got the Zoe Kingdom over there at the house. Yeah, a lot of my family, we're from Haiti, so. I got 4 brothers and sisters, 3 brothers, 1 sister. I got 2 cousins from my mom's side that I'm really close with, and a whole bunch of family on my dad's side. But yeah, I don't even know all their names. Like, it's so many people.
I feel in that. It's the same. Most of my family is in Vietnam. Not a lot. Like there are family members on my dad's side and some of my mom's side that live in America, but most of them are in Vietnam. And when I go back, I'm like, "You're my cousin, okay, and you're my niece, okay, and you're my uncle. Like I'm older than you." It's like, and I can't remember all the names. It's overwhelming. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you do on your free time, like to alleviate stress and just kind of like away from like media and social?
Be a normal
content.
human being. I'm honestly like, if I'm off social media, I'm not creating. I'm just trying to hang out with friends. I'm trying to play video games. I'm trying to go on dates. I'm trying to blah 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 blah. Just what people normally do.
Man real.
Do you currently have a girlfriend?
Nope, single as fuck right now.
Ooh, he's single.
Hey, so y'all
ladies, get on him. Get on him.
He's shooting his shot with y'all right now. No, I mean that's dope because I mean there's it kind of made me almost want to get into the point of like online dating, but aside from that, I mean how hard do you feel like it is trying to date in the current market?
In the current market,
yeah,
I think it's how much time you put into it. I think online dating is a huge waste of time. I think that I did online dating back in college. Like it was like Plenty of Fish and like what was the other website? Anyways, it was like before Tinder, and the amount of red flags I've met was insane that I would have like read right off the bat. And you know, not everyone is a red flag, but like what I'm saying is like you just read certain things that weren't compatible with you and everything, and it just did. And now, anyways, I would not. You can't read red flags when you look at a picture, and I understand why online dating has just so many. So many terrible stories. I don't feel like getting into that, but I don't like to badmouth them, even though they're strangers. But
but meeting somebody in person, you just get more information about.
You got to feel on what they are. You don't really get to feel until you meet them, and sometimes you talk to them for like a few days or a few weeks or a few hours. A few hours is great because you didn't lose much, but like you just like you feel like you wasted your time, So
I mean, I've had my fair share of online dating. I actually went on a date where me and the other girl started arguing. And we met for the first time. But I mean, we were arguing because she told me physics isn't science. And then I don't know why I was trying to convince her. When someone says something that outlandish, you should probably just try and keep your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Not
we kind of argued on the date, and it was just like, okay, like, all right, I don't know if we cool, and then we both just
now you guys became debate buddies or something,
Physics isn't science. Oh my god,
That's
what a hot
crazy.
take.
The science always changes. All right, no, we're getting to the next point. All right, next point. Would you ever consider moving to Texas?
Oh, come on, man! You seen this? You seen these big houses out here?
You seen these big houses? You
I
seen
wouldn't
the
for one
guns.
reason only. I'm Asian. Just in case you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
And the thing about Asians, especially if your parents were not firstborn generation, I'm an immigrant from Vietnam. My parents are as well, and everyone else. And the structure of how families work is when their parents retire, you're supposed to take care of them. You're basically their retirement golden ticket.
Same way with Haitians.
Actually, same way with a lot of different cultures around the world.
I feel like it's a outside of America type experience.
In America, it's like you're 18. Fuck you, get the fuck out. You do your thing. Me and the wife, we're gonna go do our thing. That catch up for like the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Or last 18 years. 18 years. There you go.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I think that I would not move unless my parents move. It's not a bad idea, but I also personally enjoy New York. I enjoy being severely overworked. I enjoy the energy of like always having to hustle, and I feel like if I move somewhere else, I'd be a little bit more chillaxed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that move to New York, especially if they weren't young, can only do New York for a few years, and they realize it's too intense for them because they came from a very chill environment,
So he a hustler.
So in other words,
hustling.
I personally like getting gaslit to always work on at all times. So that's how I am.
Yeah, that's dope. You got a workman mentality.
Yeah. So I think maybe when I want to chill more, maybe that might happen. But personally for me, I would like to stay connected with my core family as much as possible. And I think that's the most important thing, as that's just how Asians are.
So I mean, how would you consider trying to take care of your family in a place as expensive as New York or Cali? Like, do you think that's something that would be as feasible, or something that would be overbearing in terms of like trying to keep up with the workload and the finances and
taxes?
I think it depends on how your situation is. My parents are financially good.
Yeah.
My mom was smart enough, like they arrived with only like a few bucks in their pockets because I guess there was a bank failure in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And within about 2 years, my mom decided to just basically save up pennies and put down payment. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And we all work together, like four different people within the family, just like pulled all the money together and just bought a house when it was fucking cheap. And it's all paid off, and we have neighbors renting, and it's like they don't have to pay anything.
Man, that's how I wish a lot of black people would have done business.
Pulling money together.
Like, I feel like a lot of people, there's this mentality about like, I want my own house and I don't want anyone else.
I don't think it's black people. I think it's an American thing. It's always an American thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why a lot of Asian folks do really well, because like it's like it's not about me, it's about we. And that's a big difference.
I can see, actually, it's not, when you say American, I can kind of see it that way.
American is an individualist country.
And I wouldn't say like the ones that I've grown up with most of the time, they'll live with whoever if they had to. But it's just a lot of people that I know somewhat in my circle, and some people I know professionally, they're like, oh, I just want my own space. I want this. So
yeah,
that's kind of, I don't know. I'm just like, how come people don't see that? Like, it's like,
yep. That's how it is. I mean, like if you talk about like a lot of like societies in Asia, like the whole entire neighborhood is like your family and your friends. Everyone takes care of each other. Everyone babysits each other. That makes things cheaper. Like
exactly.
That's why in back in my country in Vietnam, everyone has like 10 kids and shit. It's like, well, I mean, the grandma's gonna take care of the aunt or the neighbor. Someone's gonna take care, so you can actually like live your life. In America, it's like you have to pay for daycare because you want to move out on your own, and daycare costs a lot of money. And
yeah. So
parents gotta work. And
so last dating question for you. Would you ever consider dating in the breaking scene? Or have you ever dated in the breaking scene?
I would not.
And why so?
You know how you read your history books to learn your history so that you don't commit the same mistake?
Yeah.
I've just seen so. I mean, props to all the like relationships that worked out, but there's just a lot of relationships that didn't work out. And guess what? These people were so emotionally like fucked because like they share the same space, they go to the same practice, they go to the same events, and now they gotta see them. It's just like they're just not a. It's almost like I feel like it's personally for me. I feel like it's shitting where you eat, and for the people that are comfortable with that, great. Personally for me, I just feel like I just don't want to ever feel uncomfortable going to events. So I know I would never date anyone in the scene. I think just for that reason only.
What a perspective.
But I think it's also tough because it's like, well, you're into breaking, you love it, you eat shit. I eat shit. You eat shit, sleep, and break. That's all you do all day, and you're sharing someone that has the exact same interests as you. You know, you date someone that has a 9 to 5 that doesn't understand the perspective of the artist. They don't understand what you're doing, and it's not the same as someone who actually shares the same passion as you. I think that's what makes things dope. By the way, what I'm saying about dating within community is the same with any kind of artist community. It's like I've heard from a lot of artist friends the exact same thing happens.
Well, I mean, you can kind of see it with celebrities. Like, celebrities, they only date each other. And like,
the sauce
it's crazy. Yeah. So
it determines what kind of projects they're going to end up working on. If somebody's working on that project that they've been with, and bad relationship, it's going to be.
So I'd rather just keep everyone as friends, friend zone everybody.
Yeah, I feel that. Hey, but all right. So kind of going to the last 3 questions for the night. Do you have any opinions on the current climate of breaking getting into the Olympics?
Ooh, what a topic.
Can you specify that question a little bit more? That's a very open question.
So, I mean, yeah. So there's
push your agenda. Push your agenda, Abby.
My agenda.
Carve my answer.
My agenda is for me to be in the Olympics. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, I guess from this perspective, it's like I've heard a lot of old heads kind of say, "Oh, well, I really don't like the fact that breaking would get into the Olympics. It feels like it's gonna kind of kill the culture." And from another perspective, it's like, do we have enough leaders and mentors in the whole breaking scene that will properly guide breaking through, the whole corporate structure, like through the Olympics? Judging, do you think the judging structure in the Olympics is one valid one, or is it one way of
I think
not really being that valid?
I don't want to speak as if my opinion is true or not, so I'll just say what I think, and I could be wrong, or feel free to argue it, I guess. Whatever. I don't hold it true. Because everyone has like a different angle.
Yeah.
I think that getting to the final product and process takes years, and it takes a risk. I think that judging will never be perfect. I think having this conversation about the fact that breaking, at least in this perspective, is going to become a sport, I think it's really important to have people to remind people that it's still an art at the end of the day. And personally for me, I just think it's another fucking event in a few years. So I think we have all these different events, and I think at the current climate, events happen, massive events, in a week it's forgotten. It's just how it is. And I think Olympics will probably get to that point, and I think we're putting a lot of effort into this to make sure it's right. But once it's right, it's just gonna become another weekend. It's like Olympics happen, and then they're off to the next jam. It's old again. I think that to progress as an art form, we do need a new crowd. I think it needs to be bigger. And I think breakers need to stop struggling. I think, even though I honestly think that it's only going to be like 1 or 2 breakers from the country that's going to do really well.
Yeah.
That's going to probably get a bunch of sponsors or get government grants, except for America, because America just pays terrible. Get a gold medal, get nothing.
You're not lying.
Yeah, you get sponsors to make up for it and do commercial gigs and shit. But outside of that, not really.
So this other really good point that I heard from Drink Champs is how come a lot of the artists like in the hip hop scene, how come they don't sponsor or like put into the breaking scene? Because breaking's getting into the Olympics. So how come we don't have like people like Rock Nation or like Jay-Z and like I don't know, some of these other big artists, Kanye, sponsor breakers and help them onto their route into the Olympics or onto like a even larger platform, kind of getting breaking to the same level as hip hop, rap, and all that other stuff? Because it's honestly part of hip hop.
So I gotta take on this. We talked about it a little bit before, which is, what do we dance to? I mean, if you're talking about Airbnb and Rakim, sure, no problem. Like that's the type of stuff, the type of beats we were on. But all this new trap, rap, we don't necessarily dance to that. So the connections that we would have maybe with some of these artists just aren't there as much.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I feel like to an extent, a lot of Jay-Z is still in the game. Like
sure.
Rock Nation's still there.
100%.
And on top of that, even what we're seeing in the current climate for media, breaking, a lot of people, they're overlaying their videos with trap music and all this other stuff.
Can we do that with Jay-Z's music?
Which ones?
It costs money.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
None of that music can be on YouTube.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like if we had someone, like, let's just say if we had Rock Nation saying like, hey, these are our group of dancers, we sponsor them. Mm-hmm. These dancers can use our music and stuff like that, or I don't know. But
the only examples I've seen of that are Zeku, some artists down there in Florida, and Tata touring with oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now, but
Big Daddy King.
Big Daddy King, yeah. So those are the two biggest things I've been seeing that are connections with these large artists.
I think personally, I think that they're not getting them out there because they have a huge market cap. They're not influencers, they don't have a massive audience, right? They do have an audience, but it's not like hundreds of thousands of people come to stadiums to watch breaking. Maybe one day will.
Yeah.
But I personally think that these artists just fucks with them. Like they respect the craft. They understand where breaking came from, and that's why they bring them on stage. I think that the biggest reason why we don't have that is because, like I said, like TikTok, breakers keep it real. They cater towards the inner breaking community. They do not cater to the outside. And like record labels like Rock Nation, they don't cater to the hip hop community. They cater to the mainstream.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have a couple projects, they might have a couple rappers that do, but like at the end of the day, it's still a business. Are they going to generate income, or is a return investment on this artist worth it? They're going
to be played at the clubs.
Yeah. But I think to some entertainment factor, I think you can incorporate breaking into a lot of these artists and these labels and kind of like making it work in an efficient way where, you can have some of these breaking artists like actually go on tour with some of these other artists and actually do some of the shows and stuff like that. I mean, you've seen the Baby's actual music video. He had people flipping. He had like a whole bunch of dancers on Vibes. Was it Vibes? No, it was I'm trying to think of the music. Like,
so my hot take on this, because I work in advertising all along, it's like, so just to be clear, breakers just don't have a lot of like if you were to hire a DJ that makes all the shit on a fucking MacBook and just flies out with a fucking MacBook and they DJ, a lot of times they don't hire them because of the music. Like they might make dope music, but do they have an audience? Can that DJ sell out that entire venue that they just bought?
Yeah.
If they can do that, that DJ is gonna get hired. It's just because they're helping these promoters make money. They're helping these because they have clout. Yeah. I think the day that breakers have a certain level of mainstream clout is the day that we're gonna see that.
Yeah.
Because what happens is like they don't want to lose money, right? So when you talk about artists that bring breakers into a music video, that music videos are considered art. It's considered as whatever the artists want to do or whoever they want to hire. So we're thinking more of like if they want to add breaker in, they just want to add a flavor to their video. It's not necessarily because the breakers can pull in a market.
Yeah.
It's just they want to add in because they feel like it's authentic to this video, or they just want to see some crazy shit because, of course, like every music video has a party and someone's gonna do a fucking head spin and shit.
But I just feel like to some extent there could be that relationship where it can work.
By the way, I'm only explaining this because I was a photographer that I was doing photography gigs, and the moment I became an influencer, dude, I spent my almost a good chunk of my account is just trolling people that enjoy Marvel and Disney. Guess what?
That's the most.
Guess what? I got hired last year by Marvel and Disney.
No way.
Nice.
For gigs, and I asked myself like, do they?
This man got hired by Marvel and Disney.
So.
I'm not doing big things.
Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers.
I don't know, man. So I personally I do enjoy what they make. I just like I was making all these videos like, man, you know how when you get a brand wrong, they'll never hire you. Like if I decided to bring a Monster can to a Red Bull event, the Red Bulls are gonna look at me like, yo, dude, you're fucking goofy. Like, what are you doing? You know. So, anyways, like I was thinking that in my head, and I was like, I'm just gonna fuck up like all these like different shows and shit to just basically miscommunicate them. And obviously everyone knows it's trolling, but you know how people in business take it super like literal, and they hired me, and I just realized in my head after a while that, all right, I do make it a topic, but they kind of see it as like I bring eyeballs to whatever that they're trying to push. And because of that, they will literally ignore anything I do, and they'll just hire me just because I have numbers. And that's what I realized at the end of the day, that if breakers had numbers, even if they're kind of like meh, those businesses are going to sponsor or hire them. That's just how it is.
Okay, so from another perspective, has Breaking Olympics contacted you? So I know you've done a lot of these other partnerships, but have you been reached out by Breaking Olympics?
I haven't been really on top of it, but Stance and I, we did work on the documentary that got released last year.
Oh, bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was very busy at that time. I was doing TikToks, I was doing photography gigs, videography gigs, and running a full-time job as an advertising creative. So I had no time to like really help them. But what I did was help them earn the account, because they were bidding with a bunch of random production companies that had no idea what breaking was. They would have probably botched it or like charged a massive amount of money, because they're gonna spend a lot of money wasting time because they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're probably gonna create something that's not authentic or a little toned up. But stands are they're just homies with cameras, right? And we like film, but not everyone is super good with business. Some people are good at this, and some people are good with business. But what I'm really good at is I'm really fucking good at pitching ideas and winning projects. That's what I realized I'm really good at. I help formulate and basically build the backbone of what the Olympics documentary was on five different videos on 5 different continents. I formulated the idea and pitched them on it, and then I went off to do my thing. By the way, like I didn't do this for like I didn't think about the money or anything. Actually, I told them whatever you were gonna pay me, just give it to breakers, man. It's fine with me. I made my money. I don't care. I personally, for me, I don't like taking money from the scene. I don't like making money off the scene.
Yeah.
I'd rather make my money somewhere else, because apparently if you make like $100, like you get canceled because you're making money off the scene. That's just how it is. That's how things. It's just not 100. I'm exaggering, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you know how many people
you make a little bit of money, everyone's gonna ridicule you.
Like, you know how many people are just like, you know what, like Stance gets 50,000 views on YouTube. It must mean they make $50,000 off our video. Like, we're special, It's like, no, dude. Like, the amount that they probably get paid $3 on the video, and they probably spent more time and energy like trying to like edit that video. The return for breaking, for shooting the scene, is not as high as they think it is.
Yeah.
And and also everyone Stance has a full-time job. Like, everyone does something. Like, I do something. Some people are in film. Some people work at record labels, blah, 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 etc. Right?
I knew you were a smart man, and I knew it wasn't the glasses.
By the way, all these things are actually true. Like, these are things like we kind of laugh at me, and like we just Stance just doesn't. We don't really voice it too often, like these things. But like, these are things that like breakers that don't quite understand business assume we do. Like, we don't take advantage of things.
That man said they homies with cameras, but they produce in such quality.
Dude, we don't have to make these things. Like, oh, by the way, FYI, if you have an opinion on what Stance is not doing, you can hit up Stance, and as long as you come correct, you could come on board and contribute. Like, if we don't have time to film every single thing and every legendary breaker in every single country, and we try our best to, but everyone's filled with events. Everyone has a life, Yeah. At least we try to have a life.
That's a call to action.
If you're in your scene and you feel like we're not filming something within your culture or within your community, and you feel like this person's fucking legendary, you can contribute, because we're all contributing. That's what Stance is, really, at the end of the day.
That's a call to action.
You got to make the move, man. You can't just expect Stance and expect us like a menu, like we're gonna always serve you guys. Like we try our best to, but we're all human at the end of the day. We have faces, all right. We're not just a channel. So
he laying down big bars, man. Man, keep clapping. See.
Or the other thing, if you don't want to contribute to Stance and you want to start your own channel, you could do it. But a lot of people that start their own channel because they're like, you know what, fuck stance, we want to put out real shit. They start making shit for the channel because they realize it's really fucking hard to do it.
Oh yeah,
it's
100%.
fucking hard. You know, it's just something we do out of passion, and a lot of people realize they weren't as passionate about making that channel to spit their perspective on breaking, and there you go.
You gotta love it.
I mean, you're doing a podcast, right? It takes time and energy. You're doing it because you feel like it's right, and you're doing it because you want to contribute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do something.
If it becomes something one day where you know you get paid a ton with sponsors and everything, great. But at the very core, you're doing it because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Now you see, I told y'all this man is smart.
I don't know.
And I didn't want to say because he was Asian.
Big brain.
But because he got a big brain, man.
Yeah, I got a huge head. That's why I was asking about dude, that's why I was asking about the hat, because anytime I put on a hat, it always falls off. It's like it's absolutely useless for me.
No, I feel that. I think because they have like some of the other like types of hat that has straps in them and stuff like that. Shoot, those might work, man.
Probably.
You're trying to do it.
I don't really break anymore, so I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of... No, I don't really.
Hey, man, you still can.
I've been breaking like 10... I've been breaking since like 2013, 14, so I don't know, man. It's been a minute.
We got to get you down.
All right. So, last question. What's next for Kien?
Live my life on creative mode.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm taking it day by day, honestly. Like, I have like a couple of vague plans, but I'm very... undecided. I'm very ADD. You know what I mean? I have a kind of a plan. Like I'm just taking it day by day at the end of the day. You know?
So do you have any upcoming projects that you're like really looking forward to doing? Anything that you can release or say publicly?
It comes week by week. I think a lot of my plans are kind of internal as a creator. I'm building structure for my, you know, if I want to live as a self-sustaining business. At the end of the day, I don't want to depend on brands all day long, because one day those sponsors will dry up or they could get really cheap because they don't have a budget. So far, it's fucking amazing. I can't complain. I'm one of the few people in the scene that can actually explain this shit, because I guess no one's really like, I guess like the only person that is like a full-time creator is like just myself and like D-Trix. I can't think of anyone else.
Yeah.
There might be, but it's just me and D-Trix.
So I mean, explain it. So like from your perspective, like what's the sort of process in order to like kind of get to where you are?
What do you mean exactly?
So like even from like a day-to-day perspective, like I mean, you have to communicate with clients, and you know, you get certain projects. Do you have a number at the end of the year that you need to hit, or like
yes?
How does that go?
I'm 30 years old. I refuse to be fucking broke. That's it. There's a certain,
like it.
Dude, when I'm in 20s, I could be broke all I want, but like in my 30s, I'm like, I can't be broke.
Let me just kind of like look at it from like an annual perspective. So it's the next year, and you know, I want to be a new Kien.
So Kien. You got it.
Man, I'm still learning.
No, you good, bro.
I don't know, wait, so say it again.
It's Kien.
Kien. Why do I keep...
It's
a force of habit.
It's been wired in your mind for this. Don't worry about it. I think at this moment, I'm in a certain phase where I'm getting a lot of brand deals and I'm making good money. At some point, this will dry up, just like breaking sponsorships. Like,
exactly.
Sometimes dry up. Sometimes you get kicked out of a sponsorship because things happen.
So how do you reach out to these brand labels?
How do I reach out? I almost never do. I think this week was the first time I actually like talked to a brand first. They always reach out to me, and I think it's because I spent all my time making content and just trying to just make videos that blow up and just try to catch wreck, you know. And I think what happens is I use hashtags, and I think a lot of times these brands will look up these hashtags to find creators, and I happen to always rank on top of a lot of these hashtags. Like, if I make a hashtag about this cosmic convention, I swear to God, it will get to the top. If I make a hashtag about superhero, it will literally get to the top of TikTok. And guess what? These brands that scroll through and find them, I think that's honestly how I get. And I always ask a brand, how do you find me? Oh, through search, and you just had really high engagement. You look like you make really cool content. It looks like you know your shit, and it works like that. The other thing is because I work in advertising, I know how to speak as if I was like their coworker.
Right.
It helps because when they hire a lot of influencers, they might be a 19-year-old kid that gets a lot of views, but they don't know how to sell that thing, or at least try to key their message. They might just dance with a soda bottle in their hand, and you know, and that didn't really help sell. It might just get some eyeballs from the audience, but it didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't change the message. They didn't change the campaign. So I think I do really well with commercial work because I understand how it works already. And because I understand how it works, they're all just like, well, we don't need to supervise. You know what you're doing.
That man said he gets eyeballs.
Yeah, for now. I mean, that might die one day. I like to. I feel like social media is very high risk. Like if TikTok gets shut down, I don't think it will, but if it gets shut down, I need to make sure that I don't have all my eggs in one basket. I'm building my Instagram. I'm building Snapchat. I mean, who could use Snapchat these days? But Snapchat is just for shits and giggles. I'm building YouTube. I've gone to like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Off of purely just posting on shorts and nothing else. I haven't really made a video for myself on YouTube. But
so you're mainly going the shorts route on YouTube, huh?
At some point, I need to spend some time making long form. I think I need to get... Basically, as a creator, I need to diversify like a business. I can't just depend on TikTok. I can't depend on brand deals. Yeah. I needed to get to a point where I make YouTube videos that get paid through AdSense, through ads I play on a video. Maybe it might be selling products one day. It might be selling Lightroom presets. That's easy.
OnlyFans.
I'm trying that. OnlyFans. Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to do OnlyFans.
It might be like a masterclass. It might be, I don't know, a product. It might be a camera bag that has my name on it. One of these days. Or like, etc.
Productization.
You never know what it is, but I think the idea is to create as many flows of income as you possibly can get. So if one of these incomes goes to hell, you won't be hemorrhaging in money and owing. You know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing. I don't think I'm going to become like a Mr. Beast. I do not want to. But I like to at least give this like lane of entrepreneurship that people are trying to figure out some level of like foundation.
Yeah.
Man's dropping keys. Dropping keys.
Do I really sound that smart? I don't know, man. I think I'm just making shit up as I go.
Man, you sound like you got Jimmy Neutron's brain, man. Like, now you know your stuff.
It's interesting because dope. You're bringing knowledge to an audience that generally doesn't have a purview into that world. So it might be, just simple knowledge to you because you've been through it. But a lot of people don't really know how a lot of this stuff works. I
think you're really good at articulating what the experience is, and a lot of people don't have that experience, so you're able to open up a new window, kind of like how Chaz was saying, but you're able to open up a new avenue for people who don't have any insight to actually kind of like gain at least some leverage or like some idea of like what it would actually be to be in someone's shoes such as yourself. But hey, man, dropping bombs, fire everything you got. The one and only Kien.
The one and only.
And I said it right this time.
Hey.
Force of habit. But I mean, really appreciate you being on the show today. You just dropped a whole bunch of knowledge. So y'all make sure y'all go check out the video, subscribe, like, and let us know in the comment section below.
Hands up in the air, they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Young nigga got a fetish for success. If I ain't next, and I just leave impression. Next to rain, on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane. Let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin. Grip the wheels, let the horses just why they trash, another chore on my list. Out of this orbit, I saw with the pen. I'm eating